Okay. Now, so we have essentially the refinance process, so the buy, refurbish, refinance process. Okay, we call this the BRR strategy, and it's very well known. It's common knowledge for a lot of investors in the whole investment world, but a lot of people don't realize the value of doing this. Okay, now when do you think you can buy a property for the best price? When it's in good condition or bad condition? Okay, when it's in, okay, exactly, when it's in bad condition. Okay, and do you want the best possible return on your money that you can get? Okay, yes or no? Oh, yes, of course, right? You definitely want the best possible return on your money you can get. So the easiest way to be able to get that return, okay, easiest way to be able to get that return is you have to buy what we term smelly houses. Okay, it's a smelly house. Okay, because you can buy it for the biggest discount. Does this make sense? Yes or no? Okay, does this make sense? Yes or no? Okay, good. So then, once you buy the smelly house, what do you think you have to do to the smelly house? Okay,
Yeah.
yes, but lots to invest. Not necessarily, Christine, depending on where you buy. Old grandma houses with bad carpets. So I actually know somebody who once used to say, if you walk in a house and it smells of wee, what I want you to do is to think of me. He was known as the wee guy, but it doesn't matter because it was brilliant because it made people think anytime they walked into a crappy house, they went, oh, Martin's the guy to speak to. Um, yeah, so you have to refurbish it. Exactly right. You have to refurbish it. And then once you've refurbished the house, what do you end up with? Yes, sir. So
Is that the sun and cloud?
it's the sun in the cloud.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a beautiful house. Okay, so what has happened when you have a beautiful house? What has happened to the value? Okay, the value has gone up. Exactly, providing you've bought right. And this is where it gets really interesting because when you first negotiate the deal, you need to have an understanding of a figure. And we're going to come into this in a little bit, which is really interesting. Okay, but when you get to a point where you've increased the value of the property, how are you going to release the money from that property? What is then equity? How are you then going to release it? Where are you going to take the property? Not physically.
Where?
Okay,
Actually,
who? Okay,
where is the question? Yes, terminology is refinance, yes, but
okay,
where the, well, you've just shown the answer.
okay. You remortgage. Okay, you take it to the bank. Okay, or to a mortgage lender, and they're going to give you money. Okay, does this make sense? Okay, this is what we call the buy, refurbish, and refinance model. Okay, because you're going to have to put in money at this point. And you're also going to have to put in money at this point. And then when you get to this point here at the bottom, they are going to give you money back out for having invested the money on the front end. Okay, this is called the buy, refurbishment, refinance model. We're going to go through some of the numbers of that with you guys in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
This way, you can recycle your original investment. Whereas when I first started investing in property, at that time I knew nothing about this. I just bought so-called done-up house in good condition with a mortgage. So left all the deposit money in the deal and just rented out, and I kept doing this. What's the problem about this? The way of doing this? What is the problem?
Is it fast or is it slow? You have to save up all the money for the deposit for every time.
So
Slow.
yeah, yeah, deposit money is left in or
Correct.
bottom. Yeah,
Yeah, 100%. Now, it's very inefficient. 100% common. I'm absolutely loving your input, by the way. It's very inefficient. Okay, so when you get to a point, you do something called recycling your money. Okay, and this is where it becomes a little bit more interesting because then you can then take some of this money and go and put it towards another smelly house and do the entire cycle again and again and again and again. Okay, now this pot of money you get back out every time will be a little bit less every time, but the point is that is how you can build a large portfolio with a small pot of money. who'd like to build a large portfolio with a small pots of money,